What's going on? YouTube. Listen up, young elder gang. This is Shalonda Williams at you with another banger. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video, fam. I hope this video get at least 100,000 likes in this video. You will find history definitions, scripture information, and best of all, what we Americans have been deprived of from the beginning. The truth, keep in mind, this content used in this video is intended for entertainment, educational and informational purposes only, and does not constitute legal advice or create an attorney-client relationship. You should not act upon any information on this site without seeking the advice of a competent attorney for your specific situation. We will give you the total truth as we best understand it. Today, be sure to hit that like button. Young Elder Gang, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit that bell and don't forget to check back with us every day for new content. When most people hear the word lawsuit, they instantly picture a dramatic TV courtroom. Lawyers shouting, witnesses gasping, and a judge slamming down a gavel to restore order. It all seems intense and high stakes, like something out of a legal thriller. But in reality, a civil lawsuit is much more ordinary. It's simply a formal way for people to settle disagreements, usually about money, property, or rights, not about criminal activity or sending someone to jail. Civil cases can cover a huge range of everyday problems. Maybe your neighbor promised to fix your fence, took your money, and never showed up. Or perhaps you and a friend disagree about who owns a piece of land, or who's responsible for damage after a car accident. Civil lawsuits also include deeply personal matters, like divorce, dividing up property, or deciding who gets custody of the kids. These cases can be emotional, but they're still about finding fair solutions, not punishing anyone. The court's main job isn't to punish people, but to help make things right and fair for everyone involved. It's about restoring balance, not seeking revenge. Think of a civil lawsuit as a structured conversation with a neutral referee, the judge, who listens carefully to both sides, reviews the evidence, and then makes a decision based on the law and facts. So, if your cousin borrows money and refuses to pay you back, or you're stuck in a dispute over a loan, a civil court can help resolve it. Or maybe a store sold you a faulty appliance and won't give you a refund. Civil court is where you can seek a fair solution. Civil court is the place everyday people go when they can't work things out on their own. It's designed to be accessible, not intimidating. It's not about drama or making enemies. It's about finding a reasonable solution when people just can't agree, even after trying to talk it out. The court acts as a neutral ground, a place to resolve chaos, restore order, and help people move forward with their lives. Don't let the legal jargon or courtroom scenes on TV scare you. A civil lawsuit is just a formal, organized way to fix a problem and get closure. And that's the real story behind civil lawsuits. Ordinary people, everyday problems, and a system designed to help everyone find a fair solution. To truly understand how a civil case unfolds, it's important to get familiar with the key players you'll find in any courtroom. Each person has a specific role, and together, they make the legal process work. The plaintiff is the person who starts the lawsuit. They believe they've been wronged in some way. Maybe their property was damaged, or they weren't paid what they were owed. The plaintiff files paperwork with the court, officially asking for help to resolve the issue. On the other side is the defendant. This is the person or company being sued. The defendant's job is to respond to the claims, defend themselves, and explain their side of the story to the court. Both the plaintiff and defendant get a chance to present their stories, evidence, and arguments. Sometimes a jury listens and decides who's right. Other times, the judge alone makes the decision. Lawyers represent each side, using their legal expertise to argue the case, question witnesses, and make sure their client's voice is heard. They help guide their clients through the complex legal process. The court clerk is responsible for managing all the paperwork, keeping the case organized and making sure the right documents are where they need to be. Meanwhile, the court reporter sits nearby, carefully recording every word spoken during the trial, creating an official record. The judge acts as the referee, making sure everyone follows the rules of the court. If there's no jury, the judge also decides the outcome, weighing the evidence and arguments before making the final call. Picture this. You're in a fender bender, and you decide to sue Bubba for rear-ending your car. In this case, you're the plaintiff, and Bubba is the defendant. The roles are clear, and the process begins. Understanding who does what in the courtroom is the first step to understanding how a civil case works. With this lineup in mind, you're ready to follow the process from start to finish. Lawsuits don't start overnight. Before anyone steps foot in a courtroom, there's a whole dance that happens behind the scenes. Most disputes actually begin with simple negotiation. Two sides trying to work things out face to face, hoping to avoid bigger problems. For example, if your brand new roof starts leaking, your first call is to the roofer, not a lawyer. You give them a chance to make things right. If talking doesn't work, the next step is sending a demand letter. This formal document spells out the facts, what you want fixed, and gives a clear deadline for action. Sending a demand letter shows the court you tried to be reasonable and solve things without legal action. Still no luck? Mediation is the next move. Here, a neutral mediator helps both sides talk openly and guides them toward a compromise everyone can live with. Mediation is almost always cheaper, faster, and much more private than going to court, keeping your dispute out of the public eye. In fact, most cases settle at this stage, saving everyone a lot of time, stress, and money. Settling brings certainty and closure, while going to trial means taking on risk and uncertainty. Sometimes, accepting a fair compromise is smarter than gambling everything for a bigger win in court. Remember, the smartest people settle before court, because peace of mind is often worth more than a legal victory. If talks fail, it's time for paperwork, called pleadings. The plaintiff files a complaint, officially starting the lawsuit and explaining what happened. The defendant gets a summons and must respond with an answer, admitting or denying each claim. Ignore a summons, and you risk losing by default. The answer can include defenses, reasons the defendant isn't responsible. Once both sides file, the case is at issue. The judge sets a scheduled deadlines for discovery, motions, and a trial date. This keeps the case moving and prevents endless delays. The court's message: play fair and don't waste time. Now, the real work begins. Next comes discovery, the fact-finding mission. Both sides exchange information, written questions, interrogatories, document requests, and depositions. No secrets allowed. Everyone must show their cards. In a car accident case, you might have to list everywhere you went before the crash or hand over phone records. Depositions lock in witness stories before trial. If someone changes their story later, lawyers can call them out. Discovery is about fairness. No surprises in court. As discovery ends, lawyers file motions, formal requests for the judge to act. Motions can force the other side to cooperate or even end the case early if the facts are clear. The most powerful is summary judgment. If the law is obviously on one side, the judge can decide without a trial. Courts often order one last round of mediation, now that both sides know the strengths and weaknesses of their case. Settling now means certainty. Trial means risk and expense. Over 95% of civil cases settle before trial. A guaranteed outcome beats a gamble. Don't underestimate the power of a smart settlement. If no settlement, it's trial time, the main event. Jury selection comes first, then opening statements from both sides. The plaintiff presents evidence and witnesses, the defendant cross-examines, then presents their own case. Closing arguments are the lawyer's last chance to persuade. The judge instructs the jury on the law, and the jury decides the verdict. The judge enters judgment based on the verdict. If someone thinks a legal mistake was made, they can appeal. Trials are stressful and unpredictable, another reason most cases settle. If you ever end up here, get a good lawyer.